everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Birth and Baby Talk. I'm Leanne Palmerston from Hamilton Family Doulas, and today I have a lovely guest with me, Cierra Bailey from Not Mother Goose. Welcome, Cierra.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you could make it. We're talking today about peer support and how important it is. And let's tell the folks why you are here as a guest for this topic. So can you tell me a little bit about like what Not Mother Goose is?
Yes. So I started Not Mother Goose as I went through my own personal struggles with postpartum depression and anxiety. And it was kind of around the time the pandemic was happening and I couldn't find any peer-related services that I felt would benefit me the most. So I thought, why not start my own? So I run a support group for parents who, it's not specific to postpartum depression, but just anyone who wants to come and talk and might be having a hard transition to parenting. And then I also run an Instagram and Facebook page that just kind of offers information about mood disorders, about different parenting topics, and just to try to build a community to support each other. And it's all based on peer support. So I think that that's why I'm here to talk about it today.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a message come through. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I think, well, quite frankly, I think a lot of female-run organizations and businesses start because of that very thing. You find yourself in a weird position, and you think, I need to create the thing I'm really looking for. So, congratulations!
Thank you.
And your Instagram account, I love reading it because it's got all kinds of really great information for particularly new parents and parents of very young children with regards to perinatal mood disorders and yeah, like just sort of getting through.
Yeah.
So thank you for providing that information. So why is peer support in particular so important? Because there's different kinds of support, but let's talk about peer support first.
Mm-hmm. So I think that we can all kind of relate to going through a really difficult time, and you finally get the chance to talk to somebody about it and they're able to say, yes, I'm going through the same thing. I know how you feel. I'm here for you. And I think that camaraderie is so important, especially with new parents. It's a unique situation, but there's also so many people going through it at the same time. I can remember feeding my baby late at night and looking on the street and thinking, there's nobody awake. I'm here all by myself. I'm the only one who's struggling with these issues. And once I really opened up my lines of communication, I found that's not true at all. You know, everyone has different things that they go through, but parenting is, you don't really understand it until you're a parent yourself. And I find that so helpful when it comes to peer support.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm lucky, you know, people of your age, I'm a little older. So when I had my children, I started having children almost 20 years ago. And that was, the birth of the internet was happening, and the birth of, forums and things. Back then we would go to a particular website, and there was no such thing as Facebook when I started having kids. So yeah, like I and subsequent generations of moms are so incredibly lucky to be able to tap into first the ability to connect to people online at any time of night or day, and then to be able to use that to reach out to people in your local area to gather them up, and then, in non-pandemic times, get together in person. During the pandemic, it looks a little different, right?
Right. And I think the internet totally gives us access to all sorts of people from all over the place. Maybe in your own personal life, you don't know another family member or friend who's just had a baby. So you're kind of stuck on who do I talk to? And this kind of opens up that availability to everyone. And I think just peer support, it's really underestimated. I can remember going for a walk with a friend who had a baby just a month before me, and I would leave so much lighter just being able to vent, and they got it. And you didn't have to explain to them totally every little bit of everything, because they get it. And that's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like that phrase that you feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even like, and so that feeling lighter is very much like, what I think we think of when we look for self-care services like therapy, right? Even if you're going for a really like body work therapy and stuff too, like massage therapy and things, as well as like talk therapy and psychotherapy, you're hoping for that effect. Doesn't always happen. Here's the funny thing. I think I just realized this like very recently. When you leave a really good massage, your body hurts at first. And then when you leave like a therapy session with a psychotherapist, you feel raw and open and a little like off kilter for a while until everything sort of settles in your brain and your heart. Yeah. But when you tap into peer support, you do go straight into like really good feelings, right? You're generating oxytocin and stuff, which makes you feel like happy and loving. And then you are able to laugh about things and just follow discussions and be really frank with people, I think, too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it's beneficial for both people. You know, if you go to a massage therapist, you're the one that's getting the benefits from it and not them. But it totally is a circle that just keeps giving and giving.
Awesome. And so like what, I did mention therapy. So there are other types of support available for families, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think, again, what we're talking about with different types of support available and peer support being so important is that when you come to a peer support group and you're offering stories and you're listening to stories, you really gain a lot of empathy for parents who are going through other struggles and a lot of compassion. And my hope is that you can sit across from somebody in a support group and think, wow, they're doing such a good job. They're really working their hardest. They're the best parent that they can be. And, it takes a lot to stop your thoughts and start thinking those things about yourself. And the more that you have that compassion towards other people, you can apply it to yourself and think, wait, I'm trying very hard too. I'm a good parent as well. And I'm doing the best that I can at this moment. And I think that's the hope that peer support gives to everybody.
Yeah, like learning. Yeah, because you look at a mom, I might look at you and say, look at her, it's all put together and her space looks like nice and tidy and she's obviously got her stuff together, right? And so I extend grace and kindness and understanding and admiration to you that I don't necessarily extend to myself when I think about my circumstances, what I'm going through right now in my life, right? So I think that, one of the magic parts of peer support is to learn how to take the grace and kindness you give to other people and be able to turn it around and say, oh, no, actually, she's just as messed up as I am. And she feels like she just told me how she feels like she's barely holding it together, which is what I feel like. So I can look at myself and say, you are doing the best job you can. And look at all these other amazing things you've got going on here.
Yeah, That's the goal. It's hard. It takes a lot of practice and it's kind of fake it till you make it. You can self-talk all you want, but you have to start believing it at some point.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. So so the Not Mother Goose, it's your group. How does it meet?
So we meet virtually, And I've done weekly sessions in the past, and I think we're going to continue on with that, but switch it to monthly. And we meet on Zoom. I'm sure everybody knows all about Zoom by now. It's just an hour, and it's, you know, there's little bit of education involved. We go over some of the perinatal mood disorders. We go over intrusive thoughts, just that kind of stuff. And then we just open it up to the group, whoever wants to share their experience, and people chime in. It's so funny. By the end of the hour, it's like, oh, wow. Like at the beginning of time, you think, how am I going to fill a whole hour? And then it just flies by because people have a lot to talk about and are really able to relate to each other. So it just kind of flies. It runs itself. I find it's not much work.
That's amazing. And so if I were a new parent or about to become one, or I had very young children and I wanted to sort of tap into this resource, how would I go about doing that?
So you could find me on Facebook or Instagram. You can email me, notmothergoose@gmail.com. There's also loads of resources on postpartum.net. It's Postpartum Support International's webpage. They offer like 5 support groups for different themes every day. They're incredible. So there are loads of resources available, and I had no idea about them when I was pregnant and during postpartum for a lot of the time. So check them out if you feel the need to.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about this topic?
Yeah, I think I know I've talked so much about how important peer support is, but I think that it's important to remember that it doesn't always happen in a structured setting. Just talking one-on-one like this is also peer support. I have a lot of people that contact me just through Instagram on my personal messages, just for peer support that way. It doesn't have to be a group. I know it's scary. Some people don't like coming and sharing. And if you go to a group and you just want to absorb, then that's great too. You know, as long as you get what you need out of it, that's what the most important thing is. I have loads of people that come and don't share. So that's not anything to worry about.
Okay. Yeah. Because it can be really scary to think that, you know, you're about to talk to a bunch of peer strangers about scary stuff. And I imagine it might take, for some people, it might take 1 or 2 sessions of hanging out and listening to other people be vulnerable and share their stories before you're able to be vulnerable.
Exactly. And I think if you are really interested in getting some help in the peer support form, the consistency is so important, because you might not feel very comfortable the first time to talk, and it might take a couple of sessions, and that's fine as long as you keep coming back, right? And as long as you get what you need from it, then the work has been done, right?
Excellent. And is there a cost associated with Not Mother Goose?
Nope, there's no cost associated, as well as the resource I just mentioned, postpartum.net. They don't charge either. It's just come as you are, come with what you can. And I think that that's one of the things I really wanted to do with the group, is make it accessible, because I know that more structured forms of therapy are not accessible to a lot of people financially. So I wanted to open this up to anybody who was in need.
Oh, that's amazing. Because I think consistently, the one thing we hear in our sort of general field of perinatal support is that support in the postpartum period, in particular, the emotional support, the sort of the social support, is the thing that is lacking the most. And I can only imagine during this pandemic and going forward, where I imagine a lot of people will be a little more hesitant to be very social in the early parts of parenting, except maybe with a really tiny, tight group of people you know and trust. So you have a sense of, you know, what they're doing in terms of infection safety stuff. But I can only imagine that is going to continue for parents of very young children, that they're going to be more hesitant to be around larger groups of people. And so
exactly. And I think the virtual setting will continue on far past when the pandemic is kind of over. And I think there's something to be said about being able to log on to a group 5 minutes before it starts and not have to drag your kids there, get all the snacks ready, as much as I would love to see people in person, it is an accessible platform for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is. It's amazing not to have the other things, especially if you feel like you're struggling. That's a make or break thing. Like even just thinking like, I've just got to go put the baby in the car seat. Like just thinking like, oh God. Or if the weather is not great, thinking about like, I've got to bundle up the, my toddler and then it's, an hour before nap time. And how is this all going to go? All of those things are so much, so reduced when you can just tap into a virtual scenario.
Yeah. And my group is super flexible. I say, if you've got to feed, if you've got to leave, whatever you have to do what you have to do, because your baby, of course, is the most important part of what's going on here. So I think it just opens up so many doors for people who might not have been able to engage in peer support before. And I know personally, I had a lot of anxiety about leaving the house with my baby. It was like, I've got to get from here to here to here, and I've got to do it all by myself. What if they cry? What if they throw up? What if this happens and that happens? So I found it really freeing just to be able to log on and sit in front of my computer and do what I have to do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, almost 20 years ago when I had babies, little ones, I was very notorious. I'm an ADHD parent, so I'm very notorious for underpacking the diaper bag. And I would tend to just go to a mall because I knew if I had a blowout or something, I could just buy an entire new outfit. Yeah. Because I could never remember to bring extra supplies. I'm so envious of all the moms who have zip bags of extra outfits and things in diaper bags. Bless them. So awesome. So I encourage everyone to check out Not Mother Goose. You can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. And tap into that community if you are expecting, if you've recently had a baby, or you have a toddler. Then tap in and get some peer support. Listen to the other parents and make some connections, because it can be a really powerful agent of sort of change within yourself and your life. We've already been talking about the clear benefits, the immediately felt benefits of being able to see right in front of you that you're not alone, that the struggles that you're having are universal. Some people are just a little better at not showing it up front. But we all go through those struggles, and we all go through them regardless of what kind of socioeconomic status we have, what race or religion we are. The difficulties of parenting affect all of us. Thank you so much, Cierra, for being here to talk about this with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It was an absolute pleasure. So if you want more information, check out Not Mother Goose on Instagram. The information that they post there, you should be following them. The info they post is fantastic. You can tap into their community, and we're going to place links in our newsletter. So if you are signed up for our newsletter, you'll be able to conveniently access the information there. If you're not yet signed up to the newsletter, please do so. We will drop a link in the comments so that you can, and we try to share lots of helpful information, handouts, and discount coupon codes for Family Doulas of Ottawa, Toronto Family Doulas, and Hamilton Family Doulas. So if you're in any of those general areas and you're looking for support through pregnancy, birth, or new parenting, reach out. Next week, come back on Wednesday. We'll be talking to Sam from Broad Lingerie, and she's going to be talking about bra fittings, which If you are pregnant or just had a baby, you know how difficult it is to find a good fitting bra, to understand how to do that. And that is especially difficult these days when we have a limited ability to try on bras in person. So come back next week and join us for that. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you.